Nashville, raising Nashville, raising Nashville, raising Nashville.
Welcome to Raising Nashville. I'm Bucky.
Juice box cracking a beer at 9 a.m. This may be a bad idea.
Is it the earliness or the fact that the time has changed? Or is it the fact that this is a big week for not only our city, state, but our country and the world as we know it?
I'll go with C.
Okay. Yes, this is one of the biggest weeks of the year for changes, I would say. We had just surpassed our October, our favorite holiday, so why not just dive right back into the shit that is the world right now, and let's go on and have an election.
Yeah, that's way scarier than any horror movie I watched throughout Halloween.
We do know that tomorrow is a big day for everybody. If you have not gotten out there and done the early voting, please, I know the lines are going to be long. It's going to be miserable. Most kids have, school off tomorrow. If you have a chance or you took the day off or you're working the polls or whatever you may be doing, if you have not voted, get out there and stand in that line. It is worth it. The crazy stories that are coming out is the fact that, the state of Texas and the state of Hawaii already have had more people vote early than all of the entire 2016 election.
Oh, wow.
90 million people in our country have already voted, which is an amazing number. They're saying that this is going to blow away any election in the history of mankind as the number of people turning out to vote.
That's interesting. You said something about the lines at the polls, and I just want to go ahead and say that this is not a political election episode.
No, but
we're diving into it at the beginning. But I just want to say real quick, I'm interested to see how big of the line, how long the lines are at the polls on Tuesday because so many people have early voted. I feel like everybody I know has early voted.
Sure. I think they're still going to be somewhat long. I mean, you've read the stories about how there's issues at the polls and, getting people through and making sure that, you're COVID conscious and giving you the little coffee stir to hit the little screen and making sure that they have enough pens to send off with you. You not only get a little sticker that says I voted this year, you get a big pen.
That's right. And telling all the people to pull their mask up above their fucking nose.
Yeah. But today we have something different for you, trying to get your mind off of the things that could potentially go down this week. So what we're going to transition is from blue and red to blue and pink.
Okay.
Because we need something to give us kind of a fresh idea. We've just come through our October run on Raising Nashville podcast. We do a lot of stuff on the city of Nashville. We do a lot of, pop culture, but we also kind of founded this podcast on a parenting topic. Mm-hmm. So to give parenting tips and to cover stories about parenting, today we're going to cover a big one that you're either for or against. I mean, I think that's one way or the other, and that is the infamous gender reveal parties.
Yeah, it's crazy because I don't know about you. I didn't even think about a gender reveal party. Neither Dana or I did. We kind of just did, and maybe we can post it on our Instagram, but we just did a little quick video announcement that was kind of fun and funny, and we announced that we were having a kid, and we announced what the gender was because we did some genetic testing early. And that was it. The thought of surprising people with the gender never crossed my mind.
Sure. In fact, we can go ahead and date this back because it's not that old. I mean, you would assume that these things have been around for a while. They've just kind of gained traction over the social media days of the world we're living in now. Mm-hmm. But this really dates back only to 2008. So we're 12 years into this gender reveal phenomenon that's going on. And God, if it hasn't exploded 1,000 times since it started in only 12 years.
Let's just talk about the history real quick. What's been credited as the earliest and maybe the first gender reveal thing, which I'm sure it happened before this in some way, shape, or form, but it was by a chick named Jenna Carvounidis. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. Yeah,
pretty tough one.
There's a lot of consonants in there. Anyway, she did it for a blog. She baked a cake that the inside of the cake was, I can't remember if she was having a boy or a girl, but it was
pink.
Okay, so the inside of the cake was pink. That was kind of the start or unofficial start of this, and it kind of started to build up, but it really wasn't until Instagram and I guess like Snapchat and other these like smaller, like more digestible, bite-sized social media videos and pictures and stuff came about, like that's when it really seemed to blow up, because there was some videos on YouTube before then. It just wasn't as easily shareable, maybe, or something.
And it started small, let's be honest. It, like you said, Jenna baked a cake for her blog, and you cut open the cake and it's pink, and then all of a sudden you see a potential, like a black balloon, and you pop the balloon and, either pink or blue confetti comes out.
Yeah, which is fine, I guess, if you're doing that in your house. I've seen some other stuff, and we can talk about it in a minute, but where people are just like littering parks and like public land with their shit.
Yeah.
And even worse.
So do it in your backyard if you're going to have confetti. But it progressed even further from that. One balloon with confetti to, a lot of people saw back in the early days is like just a cardboard box where they open the top of the box and a bunch of balloons fly out.
Right.
And, it got worse and worse and worse. And what my confusion is it worse that these parties are happening? And we'll kind of get into some of the devastating things that these parties have contributed to.
Yeah, it's pretty outlandish.
Or is it worse to have to go to one of these parties in a series of parties that you have to attend when somebody has a baby?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Right?
Because, I feel like it's just maybe in the past 10 to 15 years that, like, dudes have started to come to baby showers,
True.
Like, I feel like, when we were younger and, like if our parents had a baby shower, like, the dudes were not there. That was just not part of it. And that's more of a co-ed push, which I'm fine with, because, nowadays dads are trying to be a bigger part of their kid's life in general. Like, it's not like it used to be where mom does everything.
And they need to be. And I think they're involved somewhat in these parties in the fact that they have come up with this brilliant idea to have alcohol at these parties.
Yeah, that's what gets the dudes there.
It is beer. Let's be honest. It's not about the kid at all. It's about hanging out with a bunch of dudes who have to be at that party. So you, socialize over a couple of cold ones. Crispy Boys is what I've heard lately. It's the name of a beer, or the slang for beer.
Crispy Boys?
Crispy Boys is making a rise. It started West Coast. It's moving out east. I hear it more and more on the daily. Fact checker Charlie uses Crispy Boys now, and it's kind of annoying.
Okay. Well, So I don't even know what to say about that.
So if you're a guy and you are having a bunch of people over for a gender reveal, make sure you have the alcohol, let's be honest. But ultimately, I have a couple of questions. And again, before we get into the devastation and before we get into the mentality and before we get into, a couple of moral things or, ideas that have progressed since this all started.
Yep.
I want to get into a couple of questions I have about gender reveal parties, because there's apparently 3 different types, right? Everybody knows that a gender reveal party, you don't really know if it's going to be a boy or a girl. You see the videos online and the husbands are devastated when pink balloons come out, or, they're jumping for joy if that blue balloon comes out. And my question was, according to what I've researched, there are 3 types of gender reveals. 1, parents know the baby's gender, but the guests do not. 2, the parents are surprised along with the guests. And 3, all of the guests know what the gender is, but the parents don't.
That's it. I guess that kind of makes sense if you're trying to do something that's like a gender reveal / baby shower. Because, when you're buying, there's lots of unisex stuff that you can buy for babies or whatever.
Sure.
But at the same time, you don't want to mistakenly buy something for a boy that's for a girl, yada, yada, yada. And I don't want to get into what's for a boy and what's for a girl, right?
That's the issue here, because you're still going to have to endure the baby shower. So this is, I don't think you bring gifts to this because you don't know. I think this is like a betting thing, or all the women are wearing pink and, they're voting for pink or whatever.
Well, yeah. I've seen it both ways when I was doing some research. People have started to roll in both of these things together. So It's not one event and then another event, because not everybody is extra.
Yeah, just bring unisex stuff. I mean, there's plenty of it out there. It doesn't necessarily have to be pink or blue. But before we get into that part of this podcast, did you know that there's a certain thing called a gender guardian, and that's got to be like the biggest secret holder of all time, right? So if you're going to a gender reveal party, there is one person at that party that knows that gender who is responsible for baking that cake or cupcakes or balloons or smoke or bombs or cars with burnouts. I don't know. Yeah. One person
is that one of them?
Yes. Wow. We'll get into that. But there's one person who is responsible for all of this, and they hold the biggest secret to the party, even from the parents, the guests, and everything. That must be a big burden on their shoulders to be the only person at the party that knows. It's kind of like a whodunit type scenario, like a Clue.
Yeah. You know, the person that volunteers for that just eats it up, though. That's what they live for.
They have to. And you know, you probably pick the one person who can humble or brag, not even humble brag that they are the ones who know.
Yeah. If that was me, I would go in full on corrupt. I would be like, look, you want to know what this is? We're going to play some bets. Like,
yeah,
grease these pockets and I'll give you some info.
That's a good idea. Maybe I'll volunteer if I'm ever invited to a gender reveal party. Yeah. Which, disclaimer, neither of us have ever been to one. Yeah. But we have social media like the rest of you out there, so we're pretty familiar with how these things go. So let's talk about some of the progressions of gender reveals, because it has gone, like we said, from a cake to alligators, to wildfires, to car crashes, to like
a plane crash,
people dying, like literally getting hit by shrapnel from whatever was in this gender reveal and dying at the party.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
I mean, it's just one of those things. Everybody's got to one-up each other for social media. Like, that's the society that we've become. Everybody's got to just do something better or bigger or whatever. It doesn't matter if it gets people hurt. It doesn't matter if it starts a fire that burns down half a state.
Yeah, and that's, again, one of the most recent examples is the San Bernardino, California wildfire, because somebody decided to take explosives up on a hill with dead grass and trees and set some shit off.
Right. Which they obviously have no business doing because they don't have training with whatever explosives they're using if they're setting off a fire like this.
And they don't own that land.
No. Well, yeah, that too. That was what I was getting into with the park thing. Like, there was a bunch of stuff like when people do gender reveals at parks and then there's just blue or pink litter like everywhere that they're not cleaning up.
Sure.
Just even like the San Bernardino one was this year, even back in 2017. There was one that was like a gender reveal, and it was like a dude that was like a border patrol officer. So, I mean, I don't really know what I'm trying to get at there, but it seems like he's a law enforcement, I'm using air quotes there, law enforcement person. So maybe they would have an idea that this is a bad idea.
Sure.
So anyway, they started a fire with their dumb tannerite explosion or whatever it is. It burned, gosh, I don't have it up right in front of me, but it was like thousands and thousands of acres, did like millions of dollars worth of damage.
$8 million.
$8 million. Okay.
$8 million in Arizona. Your one little cute party is responsible for $8 million in damage.
Yeah. And on top of that, like, that dude ended up getting in trouble, getting fined like $200,000.
Not $8 million.
Yeah, which is a lot of money. You know, I'm not going to lie. And the fucked up thing is too, like, that's just fucking over your kid. Like, if you are paying back this $200,000 fine off a border patrol salary, which I'm not trying to knock that, you know, it's probably like 65, 70 grand or something like that, but that's still like, you're in a hole.
Yep.
Your kid doesn't have a college fund because you're paying off $200,000 from your dumb fucking, you know.
Hey, but the guests had a great time, Johnny.
Oh, and that Instagram post got like 180 more likes than other ones did.
Yeah, I've never gotten that many likes, but it only cost us $8 million. So there's videos online you can go about the gender reveal parties going wrong. You know, there's funny ones like where, I don't know, they spend all this money on a big black balloon and they let go of the balloon and it flies off and they're trying to chase it and they fall over a fence or something like that. Now, that's, to me, funny because it's, you know, basically you get what you deserve right there.
Did their pants come down when they fall over the fence?
Probably.
Wait, is there some sort of whoop sound?
Yeah. It's like Larry, Curly, and Moe.
I think I've watched too much America's Funniest Home Videos in my life.
That's what we do as parents, though. So there's that. I've seen videos of a guy that was holding an alligator's mouth open with something that the alligator had to chomp, and then it kind of exhausted or blew up, and it turned blue. All these people are within 2 feet of an alligator.
Yeah,
like,
didn't it almost like bite his arm or something?
Yes.
Like something crazy, which I had never heard about that one. I didn't know anything about it until I started doing a little bit of research for this episode. And it is just like, it's insane. But let me say this. It did happen in Louisiana. I've been on some alligator tours in Louisiana.
Me too.
Those folks they get really up and close and friendly with alligators. So I'm not totally surprised that this was a thing.
I'm looking at it right now as we speak. You can go to a People magazine article. It says a family gets up and close and personal with an alligator's jaws. And I mean, these people are stupid. You've also seen probably dad-to-be's groin injuries where they're like, there's cracker whatever things where you shoot it out and all the confetti comes out. Like it kind of looks like a Roman candle on Halloween.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Halloween, on 4th of July. And it shoots out, but they're holding it backwards and, it hits them right in the dick.
So that's like preventing them from having any further kids. So at least there's like
no more gender reveals. Yeah. Which is great. You only have one. There is a woman who, obviously we kind of touched on earlier, got hit by shrapnel from some explosive.
Dude, I read more into that one. That one was insane. Basically, the way it went down is like the family more or less created a giant pipe bomb.
Okay.
Like it wasn't like they obviously didn't know what they were doing. They put all this explosive and some kind of colored powder like in a pipe, sealed it up, lit it, exploded. Shrapnel hit this lady who was standing 45 feet away from the explosion, killed her. The piece of metal that killed her flew 450 feet past her. So it hit her and flew another 450 feet. So that shows you, like, these people have no fucking idea what they're, like, getting themselves into. Like,
yeah.
And she was standing next to the rest of the family, so that could have taken out, like, several members of their family.
I've seen car people, like we said earlier, do the burnouts where if you make that smoke during a burnout, like it turns pink or it turns blue. Now, I don't know how they do that. Whoever created that is, I don't know, pretty inventive.
Yeah, I want to know about that.
But I've also seen the burnouts turn into wrecks. And there was one where a car was flipped and it caught on fire. And they had to get the guy out of the car.
When the car caught on fire, what color was the smoke?
I'll tell you what color the fire was.
That's the true reveal right there. That was a misdirection.
I'm reading something right now that says at least 25 fatalities across more than 24 states have happened for gender reveal parties. 25 people have died for this social media blitz that people are on right now. I mean, the creative ones you've seen, obviously kids go to a ballpark or parents go to a ballpark like the Cubs Stadium, Wrigley Field. They throw out a baseball during practice and, one of the players hits it and it turns into blue or pink. And, I guess that's, creative, that athletes are joining in on this, but at the same time, do it safe. Like, how LeBron James puts together that powder in his hand and he throws it up in the air before every game?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can pay him to just do a blue or a pink, right?
There you go.
There's no need to, I don't know, even if the guy hit the ball and it accidentally went one way and hit a kid in the stands, or it didn't bust open, it's just dangerous. What people are doing right now is irresponsible and dangerous. It's annoying for us to go to these parties. It's annoying for you to put them on. And the fatalities is not even close to the worst reason why these parties should not exist.
It's up there, but
I mean, it is death. Okay, death. Sorry, 25 people have died. Yes, that's close. But we can also get into the idea that our world is progressing and evolving faster now than anything because of social media, because of the internet, because of, people able to get in touch and communicate with other people or like-minded people.
Yeah.
But let's not put this into, let's play the example of red and blue for this week, but let's not put this into blue and pink because that really doesn't exist anymore. I mean, genitals exist, obviously.
Okay.
And you can put a color on them, I guess.
Right.
But let's not put, there's a lot, even the Jenna girl who created this in 2008, for the last year, she's been campaigning against gender reveal parties, not only because of the dumbness of people who are doing them and what you're causing physically for harm, but also mentally, what that's causing harm to family members or to, a kid who hasn't even identified themselves yet.
Yeah, exactly. Beyond just that, just putting an emphasis on gender in general, I feel like is weird nowadays, because we're trying to get to this level where men and women are equal, or whatever you identify as is equal. Like it shouldn't matter. I know that a lot of people out there, Bucky, I think, we've talked about this on past episodes, you really were wanting a girl when you guys had your kid. And that's fine. That's understandable, to be leaning one way or the other, but like just to put so much pressure on that, and you're talking about like people crying and just, I don't know. It's not a good way to start off like your entrance. It's not a good way to start off like becoming a parent, like being so concerned with that. Bringing
someone into this world. And I get it. It's age old, from the time I'm assuming that pink and blue were early 1900s, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, mid to early 1900s. Sure, it's been around for 70 years. Pink and blue. Identify blue with boy, girl with pink.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those colors are kind of ugly, especially the shades of them.
So let's just talk about, we've mentioned some of the ones that have gone wrong, some of the more outlandish ones. Let's talk about a couple more of those if you've got any.
Okay.
There was one that I saw, same theme as the baseball one, where someone was supposed to hit like a baseball that exploded or something, I guess, with the color, but it didn't explode. It flew right back into the mom/wife's face, like broke her nose.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, if anything, these are great stories, right? Like
they are, and I don't know if the flops are fabricated too, because I've also seen one where a guy was like a big football guy, right? And he's running through the backyard like he's about to run through a wall, and it turns out to be a little bit too thick of wood, and he like hits it, and he just falls backwards, like almost knocked out. There's videos out there where you can just watch 30 straight minutes of gender reveals gone wrong if you really want a good laugh, because that is the only thing I get from these parties is laughing at the bad side of it, or the ones that go wrong. That's wrong of me, I guess.
No, I mean, I get it. It sucks that we're laughing at just our society collapsing and crumbling, but at the same time it is kind of entertaining. But one of the ones I read was people did it at an Applebee's parking lot, super classy.
Okay.
They shot off a bunch of confetti. I guess it was maybe one of those ones like the Roman candle type thing you were talking about or whatever, like a confetti cannon in the parking lot. The management came out and was like, hey, clean this fucking mess up, you dumb idiots. Like, you shot all this paper all over our parking lot. They refused to do it. They ended up getting in a fight with a hostess. A hostess over this.
Damn, I thought the ending of your story was going to end with like they all went inside and got, a 3-course meal for $12.
Well, that was beforehand, I'm guessing, and they had plenty of like $2 tall shit beers or whatever the Applebee thing is.
I bet Long Island iced teas are big at Applebee's.
Oh, yes, you nailed it. That's it.
I always associate a Long Island iced tea with Applebee's. That and cheesecake. I have no idea. I think maybe it's because the first time I ever had cheesecake was at an Applebee's.
Yeah, to me it's like jalapeno poppers and LITs maybe.
There you go. So with all of the things going wrong, let's do a hypothetical here. Okay. If you don't mind. If somebody told you, Juicebox, you and Dana are having another kid, but you have to have a gender reveal party this time, what would your gender reveal party be? Or how would you reveal the gender? Or the genitals. How would you reveal the genitals? Let's say that.
I don't know which way to go on this. Part of me is just like, keep it conservative, do the cake thing or cupcake thing or something. But then the other part of me is like, fuck it, man. Let's make a gasoline bomb and set it off in the backyard and see what happens.
So you're going big.
No, I'm not going big, but
I was thinking about this last night. Why not make the party work for you, right? So if I were to do a gender reveal party, I would put a baby with a vagina or a baby with a penis about 9 feet under the middle of my backyard. And I would invite everybody I know, right? Like say 100, 150 people show up. In the backyard, there will also be 100 to 150 shovels.
Okay.
And everybody has a perimeter to stand around, and they all start digging. And the first one to get to the baby wins a prize. But I won the ultimate prize because they just Encino-manned my pool in my backyard. And I won a hole for a pool. That saves half the labor right there. That cuts your pool cost in half.
I was really wondering where that was going because 9 feet down.
9 feet. I need a deep end.
That's deep.
Yeah, I need a deep end. I'll provide some ladders.
So you want people to just come over and dig a 9-foot hole into your backyard?
Yeah, but there's a perimeter, so it'll be like the pool size.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You've already initially dug the 9-foot hole to put the fake baby in.
Mm-hmm. I won't tell them where it's at. That's the thing.
Why not just go ahead and dig out the rest of the pool with whatever you've
Because
dug?
it's just a little baby. I dug straight down 9 feet, right? I might have used an auger. I was
going to say, I don't know if you know how far 9 feet down into the ground.
I was just drilling, and I pulled the drill back up. I dropped the baby in there, put the rest of the dirt on top.
Okay.
And then grew a little bit of grass. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought about this. That baby's been in there for about nine months. Just so the grass looks evenly perfectly over the top.
I like this. I mean, everybody deserves a pool.
Yeah, right? And if I'm going to have to do something as outlandish as having a gender reveal party or a genital reveal party, I don't know why I keep going back to that because it kind of makes a little bit more sense now that I've read it.
That's really what it is, yeah.
If I have to do that, then I'm going to make the party work for me.
Gosh, now when you say genital reveal party, it just sounds super creepy to me.
It does.
Here's my baby's genitals.
Yeah. All you perverts and people who are on watch lists in the neighborhood, just feel free to come on over.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess, like, to wrap it up, who is doing these? Like, I still can't understand who is doing this because I asked my wife. She didn't know anybody that has done a gender reveal party. Like, we were trying to rack our brains. Like, no one that we know has done a gender reveal party. Like,
I take that back. My cousin has done one, and it was a balloon type one in their front yard. And I think it was, let's see, 4 years ago, that they did it. So they're still not on this. They were kind of a little bit prior to the like train. I mean, it has, shut off like a rocket in the last 5 years. It's been around for 12, but I feel like that was okay, what they did. And I think everybody had a great time. I showed up. I hadn't seen my family in forever. I stayed for all of 12 minutes. I watched this balloon pop, and then I rolled out the back door. Yeah. But so I do know somebody who's done it. I'm not bashing on you guys up there in Lebanon, but I want to say that there are some people out there that maybe they treat this like Halloween or like a Christmas or like any other holiday, and they want to throw a party for it, and they want to make it big and give people a reason to actually come to these things. Yeah. To find out not only what the genitals will be, but how they're going to do it. How are you guys going to pull this off? Is it going to be bigger than what I've seen on the internet this week? And I don't know. It's very frustrating. I will never do it. I'll tell you how my gender reveal happened. I'm staring at a screen. We've talked about this on the podcast before. My wife's behind me. I'm staring on the screen at the end of the bed in the hospital room, and the nurse says, "Hey, you see that thing right there? That's his penis." And I put my hand over my mouth, and I stood there for about 30 seconds. I was super pissed. All I wanted was a girl. I turned around. I think I said fuck, and looked at my wife, and she saw the disappointment in my face. Jeez. Turns out we're, a little over 3 years into it, and the kid's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think Levon's badass.
Yeah, so I didn't get a bad deal. That's how our gender reveal happen. You know, I think I may have mentioned it at a party in front of some friends, but like nonchalantly.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, "Hey, we're having a baby," and I don't even think I said it's a boy. I think I said he in the next sentence, and that was it. Like nobody even got it. They weren't even paying attention to us at the party.
Right.
So, ultimately, if you want to have a gender reveal party, we're not. I don't guess I'm against it, but don't do stupid shit and get things burnt down and people killed and, you know, people hurt. You know, you don't want to get that rocket shot off into your genitals and not be able to have other kids if you're planning on it.
Or I don't know, maybe you should. You know, if you're shooting this off, maybe you shouldn't have more kids.
Yeah.
If you're shooting a rocket into your dick, maybe it's a sign that you shouldn't have more kids.
Yes. Maybe, yeah, it's a sign you shouldn't have had that kid. And we kind of feel bad for that kid.
See, I'm still kind of torn on it, you know, and it's the whole like gender identity thing. You know, I guess it's fine for like maybe older generations that are still just hung up on this boy girl thing or whatever. But like, if you want to reveal it, that's fine. I guess my whole thing is like, just please don't like put that emphasis on your kid from the get go. Like, your kid is going to be who they are. Like, don't force the gender on them if they're...
And they'll figure it out quick.
Yeah.
And you'll see them grow quick and kind of figure that out, you know, much more now and sooner now than you would have in the past when everybody was hiding it because it was such a, you know, a bad thing in society, right? To come out and say that you're a different gender or, you know, and have to hide all of this stuff is now you don't. You know, we're all, well, maybe in some communities you still have to do that. I feel bad for those kids that still, you know, think that they need to do that. But ultimately, I think we're moving to a place where, you know, it's acceptable. I mean, just do it. Like I think once it's on TV, it's acceptable, right?
What's on TV?
Once, like, I don't know, characters like the guy in Schitt's Creek and, you know, Modern Family, and it's on like broad TV, you know, network. Right. It's a thing where all of society sees it. We're so dumb that we believe, you know, anything on TV is cool. It's acceptable. You want to live like that family. You want to be like that person. You know, you see these people accepting that. So, you know, why should you still be against it?
I feel like you're giving society a little bit too much credit.
Juicebox, I do have to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Are you nervous about this week?
This is a little bit of a loaded question, I feel like. Because, yes, I am nervous about this week. I am full on, like, as people have probably as people that have listened to this podcast, I am not a Trump supporter. I do not agree with pretty much anything that he says and does. And the fact that he is signaling that he is not going to really transition power if he's voted out of office, and the fact that just yesterday on the news there were Trump supporters that were allegedly trying to run a Joe Biden campaign bus off the road or some shit like that. Like, I honestly don't know what's about to happen.
I think the world could end in November. And it's not only going to be this week, it's going to be the following week. I think this thing could go through Thanksgiving, as most people have told us. But what if I told you that through the month of November, I have something that is going to help your anxiety and help your head with the fact that this is about to get really out of control really quickly, but I have something for that.
Is it just eating all my kids' Halloween candy?
That is one way to get rid of all of the stress and anxiety, but that's also going to give you sugar rushes and cause you to get fat, and, you know, there's too much there. I've got something even better than that. It's called CBD.
Oh, I love CBD.
Yes. CBD is a great alternative to drinking, doing any kind of drugs, pill popping. If you take just a little bit of CBD in increments, it's going to help you get through this entire election month. And we have a special for you here on Raising Nashville podcast. Our partner, Two Tours CBD, has a great product. And if you currently go to twotours.com and type in the code Raising Nashville, you are going to get 10% off any order plus free shipping. CBD is the way to go in November. Let's just call it CBD month.
Okay. I got another tip for you, for the parents out there too. If your kid has a little too much Halloween candy, just put a little CBD oil in that last piece, and then it'll help relax them a little bit.
It will, and it will help them go to sleep. I had a lot of trouble 2 nights ago, on Halloween, getting my kids to sleep. So I took a bunch of CBD just to forget about it. Anyway,
I just want to also say that I don't think Two Tours endorses giving your kids CBD on candy. But
no, don't do that. We think it's funny. TwoTours.com, 2 Tours CBD. We came home together, we grow together. Well, I would say that that's our show. We can't say anything more. Blue or pink, red or blue, whatever you do. Like we said in the beginning of this podcast, tomorrow is the day. Get out there, get early, vote, 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 vote up and down the ticket. Don't just vote for the top. Keep in mind, you have to look at all the candidates. That's one thing that I wasn't prepared for.
Yeah.
You can't just vote on that front screen. It's going to make you look all the way down to Kanye West and all the way back up. But anyway, I don't care who you vote for. As long as you vote, let's make this a record year. And we're here every Monday. We hope you enjoy the week. Buy some 2 Tour CBD. It's going to be a long one.
Yeah, and if you need a distraction, just go online and look at some of these dangerous gender reveal parties, because there's no shortage of just bonehead ideas. One last thing I want to say, there was people that had like a little crop duster plane. They filled with 350 gallons of pink water, flew over this party in a field, dumped out the water. Like the weight change in the plane caused it to crash. And then when it was investigated, they were like, this is a 1-seater plane, and you had 2 people sitting in 1 seat. So there's no wonder that you crashed.
If you're going to have a gender reveal party, do your research.
Yeah, or go so big that you burn down your state.